Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. These are the charts of the day. It is Tuesday night, July the 10th. Well, I'm not liking the way the market looks, and I think we're maybe in trouble unless we can hold this level here. We may get hit in the next few days. I will go over some of the boxy shorts, but I did want to point out that some of the longs that we've been following did quite well today, and I'll discuss a few of them here. AER had an exceptional breakaway gap day through resistance, popped all the way up to 13 and backed off to 1248. Nonetheless, up $1.33 or 12% on 1.6 million, by far the biggest volume of this year. But so we'll see if there's a follow through. There is some resistance at 1350. That's my next target. And beyond that, if we look at a long-term chart, you'll see that the next target would be logically up around the 15.5, 16 zone. Market cooperating, of course. The stock and ARNA Pharmaceuticals has been wonderful this year. Just since March, it's gone from about $1.70 up to as high as $13.50. Huge move. Now you can see that since the big gap here in the coil, it moved up, pulled back down to test, hit the top of the channel, pulled back down to test, and it's been edging slowly higher while the market backs off this week. So showing relative strength. Technicals aren't quite strong as we like to see, but I'll take price strength over technical strength, at least for now. You can see where the channel bottom is and where the channel top is. The next target's a run and take out of 13.5 and a move up towards 17. AUTH acting well after the swing trade that was successful for us here. And then pulled back down, bounced, and made lower lows, but held the major trend line at 50-day moving average along with price support. Retested it, moved up, backed off 2 days ago, and then Monday and Tuesday this week so far has been firm. Today up another 11 cents, 2.46%. Volume was a little firmer, and if it can just get a follow through, we can see this thing run, take out the 5.15 zone, get up to my next target in the 5 3/4, 6 area. BMTI with a pop today jumped 23.5%. 1 3/4 million shares. That was 66 cents to close at 346, and not that far off the session high by about 11 cents. So you can see the thrust after the breakout and pullback retest twice was successful. This stock made a move off of this line right there. Excuse me, right there. And it's going to be in the range of testing the spike high here that occurred at 378 about 2 weeks ago. Gets through that, I'm looking for about 4 1/4, and then we'll see what happens with BMTI. The long-term chart shows that that resistance would be key, and if we get to there, we can see this perhaps move into the 5-6 zone. Headwaters HW. I wanted to point this out that during a lousy market today, this was up 20 cents or 3.65%, and volume increased to just under 1.5 million. Key is the breakout recently and little rising channel and rising flag, and it's accelerating with a move up towards 650-60 zone potential. OMPI acting very well on takeover rumors. And we may hear that shortly, but never know. Anyway, it popped out, it pulled back for a couple of days, held support, and ran up. At this point, looking at a long-term chart, it's the highest level since 08. We may very well test the high teens in the 19 area. That's my next target. PWER had a good day today. Had recently broken across the major declining tops line, and today broke across the March high. Maybe headed for a test of the February high up around 565 next. We get through that, then I look for about 6 1/4. SONC, well, this restaurant chain's doing having a good time of it, aren't they? Base, the breakout, the run through resistance from the last quarter of last year, and now we may very well see this move up towards the $12 range or near it for a test of the old highs back in 2011. Lastly is SUSS, which continues to be one of my top 20 for the year and my top 25. Acts fantastic and continues to move up another $1.28 or 3.4% today in a lousy market. So looking like this could extend and maybe move up towards 40, 41 zone short term. Let's go to the shorts and see what's cooking there. Starting with Autodesk. Well, folks, we had a major break of the trend line here. Little flag form near support. Cracked hard with a breakaway gap. Went below support and then had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave corrected move. We tested that. You can see where key resistance was. Not only price, but declining 50-day moving average resistance. It's been rolling over hard in the last 4 days. Today down another 76 cents to 2.42%, and near support. But if you look at the longer term chart, now that a new declining tops line or declining channel has begun, and we draw a line across here, which sets up the angle of descent down here. And at this point, if we do crack support in that 28.9 zone, we may very well see this test these lows down around 23.24. APEI also looking ugly. After this big drop, note that if you remember, we put this head and shoulder complete in the form of a little bear flag. We put a sellout on it around 39.5, with the target down around the high 20s. They're right down 26.60, and in the last month has formed a rising wedge or bear wedge. Today it rolled over $1.08 at 3.36%. Should this line be broken, I would not be shocked to see a retest of the lows, maybe a move down towards the bottom of the channel down around 23. SIVA also rolled over today. This down channel, after we broke here, we broke very hard. We bounced back, formed a little wedge, and broke down today. I'm looking for a test of 13 on this one. CEVA. Chef's Warehouse broke the channel, plunged, formed a wedge, rolled over to test support, bounced, set up a wedge, and although it hadn't broken yet, it was unchanged today. Should we see a downside thrust in this one, it may very well take out 16 and run into the 13-14 zone. Cooper Companies. Nasty looking head and shoulders or rounding type top. It broke hard here, tested support and bounced, formed a little rising wedge, pulled back and bounced again, double topped. At this point, I'm seeing a new declining tops line come in. And if we set up a parallel line, perhaps something down in this zone near 70.72 may take place. Look for that short-term move should the market crack. You can see there's a lot of room to drop on this one. Carbo Ceramics, CRR, having a very tough time of it of late. Look at this pattern. Nasty downtrend. And recently, after bouncing to resistance and backing off, it's formed some sort of wedge. Feels like that could break and the stock move into the 64 zone. FOSL, well, nasty break we noted in May. Plunged it down to support, formed a large rising wedge, and that broke this week. It's been down nearly every day in the last 5 sessions. Today taking out the prior lows. And FOSL looks like it's headed for Doomsville, or at least down around 48.49. This could be a big dropper. Keep an eye on this one. Gardner Denver, been in a lousy bearish trend since it broke down here. This little left shoulder, head, right shoulder, snap back to the neckline of moving averages. And it's been stair-stepping its way lower with flags and wedges in between. You can see how it reached the bottom of the channel and bounced to the near moving average, and then has rolled over a bit. Wouldn't shock me if that new angle of ascent was actually closer to that. And then a move down to test new lows, maybe around 46, maybe half for about 5 points. HMIN, another Chinese stock getting whacked. One of the larger hotel chains. It's already rolled over from the 50s down to the high teens, and yet, do you see a bottom here? I don't. Matter of fact, it just broke this key support zone in here. It may very well get down to under 17 short term. HP, well, pretty nasty top, breakdown, continuing to edge lower in a rising channel. Note that the recent rally got right up to that line in the 50-day moving average and began to roll over here. I'm looking for a test of the lows around 38.5, 9, maybe even something in the mid-30s. Joy Global, boy, that's been on our list for weeks, months. When F formed a little bear flag here, we noted that around the 79 area. And then wedged again. Broke keys support here. Came down to near the October lows of last year. Bounced around and then cracked those levels without getting back up through them. You can see how today it rolled over hard. 294 or 5.5% to new lows. Not sure how low this gets, but 45.6 zone wouldn't surprise me. PXD, also weak, and a generally weak independent oil group. This broke here, It's been stair-stepping its way down in a nice orderly channel today. Dropped 318 or 3.7%. Could very well test the lows at 76.7 short term. Maybe even get down to 71.2. Teradata, massive top formation, may be falling apart here. You can see that that line was taken out today. The gap is being tested. If we break through here, look for a move down to 55. And lastly is Walter Energy, which continues to just fall away. Stock was as high as 148, is now trading 37 and doesn't look done yet. Although at this point, perhaps not the best short, only because it's dropped so far so fast. But downside momentum is a funny thing. Until they arrest that, look at this massive long-term support that was taken out today. So it wouldn't shock me to see something down in the mid-20s eventually. That's it for tonight, but long and short, what a day. And take it easy for tomorrow.